Welcome to Baker's channel where stories unfold, covering trials, dramas untold. Grab your seat, settle in, start the show. Courtroom clashes, the fun we bestow. Baker's channel, action's hot, trials and fun, all we've got. Discuss, debate, break it down. Baker's channel, just the best in town. Lawyers spar, tensions high, sparks fly. We laugh, we learn, dive into the why. Join the chat, have your say, it's your place too. Every twist, we're here for you. Baker's channel, action's hot, trials and fun, all we got. Discuss, debate, break it down. Baker's channel, just the best in town. Stay and please like join the crowd. Baker's channel, we're live and loud.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome, whoever you are, whatever you are, and what if anything you are. First of all, I have to say thank you for the corner kiss to Nicola Maxwell. Gracias. Morning, besties. Morning, Baker. Morning, Jamie. Well, Jamie might show up. Her work is really working her hard. So hopefully we make that $1 million on the Sarah Boone case so she can work a little less. Thank you. Sammy spills the tea. You're not here yet. Don't say hi. In a bad mood. Job site got washed out. I won't mention your name at all. First of all, let me put a warning up. This won't be a fun stream. If you don't like hearing disturbing things, this might not be the stream for you, because today will be horrendous. Today, I will be reading the affidavit of Special Agent Jeannie Castrucci. I don't know what her last name, how it's said, but in support of government's motion for detention. This will have parts of the text communications between Farwell and Sandra Birchmore, which will not be an easy read. I have been thinking about it. Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? The easy answer would be people can read it themselves. You'll put it on the Discord and they can find the link. I am in the belief that it's good that we hear why he was arrested, even though how bad it is. I think it's good that we know what is the grounds for the charges. I can already see, just since yesterday, the amount of copium being ingested by certain Smurfs, that he isn't indicted with the M word, but with the K word. It's the same thing, idiots. He unalived that girl, no matter what word you use to describe it. He has been charged with unaliving her. We will get a glimpse into a very depraved person's inner thoughts that he shared with a girl he roomed since she was very young. So please be mindful. If this content isn't for you, or you'll feel bad, because I will make all the YouTube words. I will try and not say anything that'll get my channel busted, but I will go through 45 pages of very, very, very disturbing evidence against a sick man who the state police said there was no evidence against. I pre-read some of it. I put it down. So I'm a cold-hearted son of a gun. I do jury duty a lot in Denmark. I have seen a lot of stuff. So I might not be the best weathergate of when stuff is not that good. But even I stop reading at some points. I won't do that today. I will probably have to get an adult beverage when we're done. I might regret reading all of it. But in the spirit of openness, I believe it's important that even the bad things are put out there, especially in a case like this. So yeah. Yes, so I put it on you all to, if it gets too much, take a break, go away. If you have kids, no audio they can hear, and give them an extra hug from Uncle Baker afterwards. Yeah. Eminem on the radio. No. What can we do to make this stop or prevent it? I believe openness, especially because the state police screwed this over. That's why I want to air all the dirty laundry in this case, because the feds found it, because they looked for it. I want to know. I saw Morrissey's statement. Well, it's an ongoing investigation. Why didn't your good troopers that since been hired for your office find any of this? Oh, it's on his iCloud. We just downloaded his phone. Why didn't you look for it? You can get the exact same access as the feds can, but you didn't. Again, people in Massachusetts, I know Morrissey is running unopposed. You should get Doink the Clown. He went to law school for 5 minutes before he flunked out. You should get him to run. He would be a better district attorney than Morrissey. This is also to enlighten the people who put people in position of power. Sending some love to Cindy Lou and her family. I don't know what's going on with Cindy Lou, but all the loves will be sent. When you have heard the worst, it gets keeping worse page after page. Eddie, no lies detected. I might break sometimes, try and make a joke or something. Don't hold it against me. It's my brain who has to have it inside it after. People there have been fighting a long time for all of this to come out. Thanks goodness it's finally had led to his arrest. Yes. But pray to God, because the same people who let him slide are still in the same positions of power, even higher levels of power now. Hey, Tisha. Can't find what you're not looking for? Exactly. Hey, Luna. I hate everything about this case, from what actually happened to the initial investigation. I can only agree with you. How in the world could Gorino from the Karen Reed case not find any text, but the feds found 32,000? Again, as Marissa said, if you look like this, it's really easy to not see what you're looking for. Make sure you all like, share the stream to spread the word and channel. This kind of stuff won't stop without more people looking at it. Thank you, Jess. No, I think it's really important that people learn about this. Because what we read yesterday, that was bad. And then Jess found me this affidavit, and I asked why she hated me so much. And she laughed and laughed, and Marissa said, because you're an a-hole. Brandy, I know you're working on updating your podcast on this subject. It is not an easy read. And again, we deal with the worst kind of people by being live streamers. We sit through every explanation given. Again, I sat through the Adam Montgomery trial. That wasn't fun either. But this, I think it rivals it, because I think in my hearts of hearts, I hope that poor little Harmony OD'd, that she didn't unalive the way the state claimed. But this one, not funny. Not funny at all. Thank you, Wicked Psych, for being a member for 10 months, and good morning to you as well. You haven't heard of this case? I stepped back from true crime for a bit. This is the case in the same area as Karen Reed, where a young pregnant girl was found in her apartment. It was ruled self-deletion instantly, even though her baby daddy, alleged baby daddy, they never tested the DNA. The alleged baby daddy was seen entering her apartment right before she allegedly self-deleted. They didn't find anything suggesting foul play, and now the feds arrested the baby daddy yesterday because they looked for the evidence. They found 32,000 text messages that proves this guy is a sick, twisted, I don't know what word I can use about men or women who like people under a certain age that would not be dinged by YouTube. But his fantasies with her, and she looked young. Don't let any of your kids hear any of this today. Mass needs to clean house of their lying, evidence-hiding creep police force. This case gets worse and worse. Chelsea, from your mouth to God's ears. I actually think all the evidence that was allowed into Karen Reed's case was a byproduct of this case. I believe this case was the first one. I think this is the thing that got the feds to look at MSP. Call them Chomos. We'll try and remember Chomos. Your government name is La Sandra. I like Luna better. It means moon. Well, I've given you all the warnings. Now I'm going to do this. I can't even do that because this is too serious. The first part is just she is a special agent with the feds. She has received training, blah, blah, blah. The facts in this affidavit come from my personal observation and review of records, my training and experience, and information obtained from other agents and witnesses. This affidavit is filed in connection with the government's motion for detention. Therefore, it does not set forth all of my own and the other investigators' knowledge about this matter. This is bad enough. I don't know. I know it's been going on for a long time. Sandra was 2 years before John passed away. No evidence, absolutely no evidence she has any connection to this case. No evidence she has any connection to any drug uh, snitching on Colin either. That's the big problem with, let's just be honest, even on our side, people are trying to find that missing piece that would explain the Karen Reed case. So you'll hear a rumor that, well, it was because he was looking into Colin Alberts. No evidence of that. He was looking into the Sandra Birchmore case. No evidence of that. So let's just take what is in the court documents. As I always said when people told me I didn't do anything but just regurgitate what Turtle Boy said, I will discuss anything in the Karen Reed case that has been filed with the court and only on the basis of that. I don't go into the speculation about who, why, what, maybe. But no evidence have been put forward that John had anything to do with this case. And this case is horrendous enough to begin with. Exactly, but that's a human thing because we can't understand someone would just unalive someone. There need to be an explanation. The human brain is always looking for patterns. That's why when you go into a room over and over and over and over again, and someone moves something, you'll see that instantly because that's not in the pattern you have in your brain. And you'll move stuff to be there because that's the way your room should look. That's why you will notice if someone takes something out of your house. The defense already had reports from FBI a year ago. They talked about it a year ago. So a lot of things out there. A lot of the same cops in both cases. But I submit this affidavit in connection with the government's motion to detain defendant Matthew Farwell pending trial as alleged in the indictment charging Farwell with violating 18 USC and as further described below. On February 1st, 2021, Farwell unalived Sandra Birchmore with the intent to prevent her from communicating to law enforcement certain information regarding Farwell's commission or possible commission of the following federal crimes. A. Using a facility or means of interstate commerce to persuade, induce, entice, or coerce then 15-year-old Birchmore to engage in unlawful sexual intercourse in violation of 18 USC. Depriving Birchmore of certain rights secured by the United States Constitution by committing statutory rape while acting under the color of law in violation of 18 USC 242. Participating in a scheme to defraud the Staunton Police Department and Town of Staunton through false representation or material omission about the hours Farwell worked in order to receive compensation for official time when he was in fact engaged in sexual intercourse with Birchmore in violation of 18 USC 1343. Overview of the investigation. On February 1st, 2021, Matthew Farwell unalived Sandra Birchmore. Farwell committed the unaliving, at least in part, to prevent Birchmore from disclosing to authorities information regarding his commission or possible commission of one or more crimes, including coercion and enticement in violation of 18 USC 2422b, deprivation of rights under the color of law, 18 USC 242, and a then ongoing wire fraud scheme in violation of 18 USC 1343. Farwell's unaliving of Birchmore was the culmination of Farwell's year-long pattern of abuse targeting Birchmore. When she was a young girl, Sandra Birchmore was interested in pursuing a career in law enforcement and eventually joined the Stoughton Police Explorers Academy to learn more about law enforcement careers. While Birchmore were in the program, Farwell was involved in as both a volunteer and an instructor. Farwell used his authority and access to room, sexually exploit, and ultimately sexual abuse then 15-year-old Birchmore. Farwell continued this sexual abuse after Birchmore became an adult, and he continued to engage in an extramarital sexual relationship with Birchmore until he unalived her on February 1st, 2021. If you have anything you really want me to see, please put the big red Q. I can't keep an eye on chat while I'm reading, so it's not because I don't want to talk to you, don't want to answer you, but maybe my eye will catch it if you put the big red Q in there, because je suis reading. There are signs that late 2020 and early 2021, Farwell was losing control of Birchmore and the information she possessed about his past and then ongoing conduct. In around December 2020, Birchmore became pregnant. Soon thereafter, Birchmore told Farwell that he was the father of her child and she wanted him to be more involved in the planning for the impending birth. In January 2021, Birchmore's friend contacted Farwell's employer, the Stoughton Police Department, and during that call, referenced Farwell and Birchmore's illicit sexual relationship. Shortly thereafter, a Stoughton Police Department employee told Farwell about the call. By the end of January 2021, Farwell faced the specter of additional disclosures to law enforcement regarding his prior sexual abuse of Birchmore and his then ongoing efforts to defraud the Stoughton Police Department and town of Stoughton by meeting her for sex when he was supposed to be on duty as a police officer. On February 1st, Farwell went to Birchmore's apartment in Canton, Massachusetts, wearing a cough medical face mask. Once inside, he unalived her and staged her body and apartment to make it appear that Birchmore had self-deleted. On February 4th, 3 days after the unaliving, members of the Canton Police Department went to Birchmore's apartment to conduct a well-being check. When police officers entered Birchmore's apartment, they found her body. A paramedic determined that Birchmore was dead, and her body was transported to the office of the chief medical examiner. On early May 2021, the medical examiner pathologist ruled Birchmore's manner of death to be self-deletion. Evidence that Farwell committed federal offense or possibly committed federal offenses by sexually abusing Birchmore when she was a minor. Matthew Farwell started sexually exploiting Sandra Birchmore no later than 2013 when she was 15 years old. At that time, Birchmore was enrolled in the Police Explorers. Farwell used his position of trust and authority as a sworn police officer and instructor in the Police Explorers to groom Birchmore. Ultimately, Farwell sexually abused Birchmore, including by engaging in sexual intercourse with her. The Explorer program is a vocational education program that enables youth to explore career paths, such as careers in law enforcement. Police departments throughout the country partner with the Explorer program to create what are commonly known as local police explorers program. The Stoughton Police Department chartered and facilitated the Stoughton Police Explorers. It's a quasi-paramilitary program designed to expose youth participants to various aspects of policing. Farwell became a sworn member of the Wellesley Police Department in 2008. On March 27, 2012, he was hired by the Stoughton Police Department, where he worked until he resigned on April 1st, 2022. Prior to joining Stoughton Police Department in 2012, he was a police explorers volunteer. After joining the Stoughton Police Department, he served as a police explorer instructor. He had several roles as an instructor, including teaching firearms and explosive safety and conducting canine demonstrations. At the time, Farwell was already familiar with the police explorers because he had also been a participant as a teenager. Stoughton. Sorry, Wicked Psych. Maybe just give it real names. In March 2010, Sandra Birchmore applied to be a police explorer participant. At the time, Birchmore was 12 years old. She began participating in the program in the spring of 2010, and she remained in the program through 2016. Farwell began to room Birchmore when she was a child. This rooming culminated in Farwell raping Birchmore in April 2013 when she was only 15 years old. At this time of this assault, Farwell was 27 years old. Farwell continued to sexually abuse Birchmore prior to her 18th birthday. After Birchmore turned 18 years old, Farwell continued cultivating a sexual relationship with her that lasted until her death on February 1st. Electronic messages between Farwell and Birchmore indicate that Farwell sexually abused Birchmore when she was a child. Thank you, Laura Reicher. It's time for the scales of Lady Justice to balance. Yes. And it's time for people in Massachusetts to wake up and see the people defending them are the people hurting them. I know there's a lot of good cops out there, but there's a lot of bad cops in top of the system. His wife is standing by him. How stupid can you be? Well, so did Proctor's wife. It's in the water up there, I believe. The fact he was so confident he could get away with this, not only the SA, but also the red rum. Well, he did get away with it because MSP secured his lies. After Birchmore's death, law enforcement agents obtained Birchmore's cell phones, both Apple iPhones and laptop, and reviewed the data on those devices. During that review, agents discovered messages between Farwell and Birchmore. The messages confirmed that Farwell frequently communicated with Birchmore for years. The messages also indicated that Farwell had sex with Birchmore when she was a minor, starting in or around April 2013, when Birchmore was 15 and Farwell was 27. And then there's what rooming is the process of a predator building a relationship with a child or vulnerable adult in order to gain their trust, enable the roomer to ultimately exploit the child. And under Massachusetts law, any sex with a person under the age of 16 is unlawful and constitute sexual abuse. So that's the footnotes. Data from Birchmore's Facebook account reveals aspects of the beginning of Farwell and Birchmore's online communication. Specifically, Facebook data indicates that Farwell sent Birchmore a Facebook friend request on October 28, 2012. At that time, Birchmore was 15 years old and a participant in the Police Explorers. Farwell was a 26-year-old instructor. On February 21, 2019, Birchmore and Farwell had a text message conversation about Farwell taking Birchmore's V card. Birchmore told Farwell that she was happy that he took it. Later in the same conversation, Farwell acknowledges that it was a big thing to get to be the first. In the same text conversation, Farwell also reminisces about the first time he digitally penetrated Birchmore, Birchmore's V. Discussing the day that occurred, Farwell asked Birchmore what she would have done if he told her he wanted her that day. Birchmore responded that she would have told him that he could have sex with her after school. She also recalled the specific class and seat that she was in when she realized that she was going to lose her V card to Farwell. Based on my investigation, I believe that this occurred during the 2012-2013 school year when Birchmore was 15 years old. Additionally, on March 19, 2019, Farwell asked Birchmore, "What would you have done if we never used a condom and I never pulled out?" Birchmore reassured Farwell that she would still finish school. Smiley face. Birchmore then told Farwell, "I love prom night. It was worth not going to prom." Hmm. On February 11, 2020, Birchmore and Farwell discussed the exact day that Farwell took the 15-year-old Birchmore's V card. "I had butterflies so bad that day you took my V card. Me too. It was such a big day. Still know the date to this day." "Really?" "Yes." Smiley face. "That's not a date I'll ever forget. It was April 10, 2013. Smiley face. "Best day of my life." Face with heart emoji. "Me too." On June 19, 2020, Birchmore and Farwell had the following conversation in which Farwell reminisces about his past criminal sexual abuse of Birchmore. "I'm glad you agreed to take my V card, though." "Me too." "Lol. If I pushed, I absolutely could have." I don't know what I F you without condoms from day one. "Probably if you really pushed it." "I was kind of scared to say no in the beginning, not knowing how you would take it. So yeah, you could have got no condoms. Lol." Other electronic messages confirms that Farwell sexually abused Birchmore when she was a child. Text messages between Birchmore and others confirmed that Farwell sexually abused Birchmore as a child and continued a sexual relationship with her until her death. For example, on October 5, Birchmore texted one of her friends that Farwell had been having sex with her for the last almost 10 years and that Farwell had taken her V card before she was 16. On May 20th, 2020, Birchmore told another friend that she had lost her V card 5 days before the Boston Marathon boom. Also, on October 5, Birchmore prepared a draft text to Farwell's wife. Birchmore sent this draft text to person one. That's a friend. Sorry, I didn't read that before. The text states, in part, "I am just messaging to inform you that your husband Matthew has been out cheating on you since before you guys were even married. I am aware that Farwell and his wife got married in May 2013, shortly before Birchmore turned 16 years old. There is no known record indicating the draft message was sent to Farwell's wife." Make sure to hit the like button. This stream will likely be suppressed and not monetized. Well, I will try to skirt it by all these stupid words I have to say because it is only a public record, so we better not have it out there. These texts are really private. I lost my Wii to a 27-year-old at the 16. I know how she feels, and that violated and manipulated. Yes, it's really, really private. And it's really, really uh we're 8 pages in, and I want to smack someone with a hammer. And it doesn't get better. That's why, please, if you need a break, take a break. Just remember that I only do this because I believe in we should expose this creep, because what he has done, it doesn't get better. I don't know what to say. Let me just get through it. Other text messages between Farwell and Birchmore demonstrate his sexual interest in minors. On June 15, 2019, Farwell and Birchmore exchanged text messages in which they discussed role playing during their next sexual encounter. Farwell asked Birchmore how old she was going to pretend to be during that encounter. When Birchmore responded, 14, Farwell replied with a smiley face emoji. In another conversation between Farwell and Birchmore on February 21st, 2020, Farwell described pinning Birchmore down, doing smacks, and asked her, "Will you say, Matt, stop? I'm 13. I'm not ready for this. OMFG, please stop." I have also reviewed several text messages from 2020 in which Farwell instructs Birchmore to act if he were her older brother coming into her room at night to have sex with her. Witnesses confirmed that Farwell cultivated a close relationship with Birchmore when she was a child. Agents have interviewed one of Birchmore's friends, hereafter Person 2, regarding Birchmore's relationship with Farwell. Person 2 indicated that shortly before her death, Birchmore revealed to her that Farwell started having sex with Birchmore when she was 15. Agents have also interviewed one of Birchmore's relatives who described being aware that Birchmore would meet with Farwell when Birchmore was a minor. Specifically, this family member indicated that around the time Birchmore was a freshman in high school, she would tell her that she was meeting with Farwell so he could help with her homework. I have reviewed a text message exchange between Farwell and Birchmore from June 17th, 2019, where the two discuss how Farwell had helped her test prep at the library. Farwell told Birchmore that she should have told him that she was interested in having sex with him that day. Birchmore told him that she was scared to speak up. Farwell then asked her, "Did you think I wouldn't want to F you?" Birchmore responded, "Yes. And like, cause of my age, I didn't want you to be like, no, WTF." Farwell then told her, "I understand that." In a conversation from April 5th, 2020, Farwell told Birchmore that he knew he wanted to take her V card when he started helping her with schoolwork. Additionally, on February 21st, 2020, Birchmore and Farwell reminiscent about when they first became sexually active. Birchmore: "I listened better back then, though. I wish it had been a year sooner after helping you study at the library." Farwell: "You still listen and give me whatever I want, baby." Birchmore: "I didn't even make you wait a year after that, and good. But I don't think you're gonna get what you want next time, so." Farwell: "Of course I will. I'll just take it." Birchmore: "That's what you think. Good luck with that." Farwell: "What was the first day you said, 'OMG, I want this guy to be my first. I want to feel him inside me'?" Birchmore: "Yeah, So 2012, I finally decided that I was going to try and find a way to F you and just wasn't sure how. How did you feel when I asked to make you your dream? How did you feel when I asked to make your dream come true? Farwell, amazing. Good. I absolutely would have F'd you in 2012. In 2012. Agents has also interviewed one of Birchmore's childhood friends, person 3. Person 3 confirms that Birchmore would meet Farwell to help with her homework. Moreover, person 3 indicated that Birchmore confided in her that she was meeting with Farwell in early high school to have smacks with him in his police car or his truck. Evidence that Farwell committed federal offenses or possibly committed federal offenses by submitting false information to obtain wages for time spent engaging in smacks act. This is the good part. Farwell defrauded the Stoughton Police Department and town of Stoughton. On multiple occasions, Farwell engaged in smacks acts with Birchmore while on duty as a Stoughton police officer. To cover this up, Farwell falsely represented that he had worked certain hours, when in truth and in fact he was not working. Rather, he was engaging in smacks acts or spending time with Birchmore. Accordingly, Farwell's misconduct was also part of a scheme to obtain wages from the Stoughton Police Department, an agency of the town of Stoughton, through false statements and material omissions regarding the hours he was on duty and working as a police officer. That was the good part. Yeah, the long O. I'm not a Bostonian. And today isn't the day to. I just want to get through this. Farwell's text messages with Birchmore indicated that he had smacks with Birchmore while he was on duty as a Stoughton police officer. Text messages between Farwell and Birchmore indicate that on multiple occasions, Farwell left work during his shift to meet and, at times, engage in sexual activity with Birchmore. These encounters occurred on various locations, including Birchmore's previous home in Stoughton, her more recent apartment in Canton, at a Costco parking lot in Stoughton, and a Five Guys parking lot in Canton. Example of dates and approximate start time of these encounters are listed here. And then we have a list of times where they met up. That's a lot of times. I have reviewed messages that revealed that both Farwell and Birchmore knew that some of their encounters occurred while Farwell was on duty. For example, on April 10, 2020, Farwell wrote, "I'm going to sneak away from work quick." On November 24, 2020, Birchmore asked if Farwell would be on duty when the two were scheduled to meet. Farwell responded, "Yes, I will be on the clock." The text messages between Farwell and Birchmore, which precede several of the above listed encounters, contain statements indicating that the purpose for at least some of the encounters was to engage in smacks acts. For example, on several occasions, Farwell sent Birchmore text messages directing her to act if she was being raped during the ensuing encounter. Farwell's scheme to defraud caused interstate wire communication. The town of Stoughton pays Stoughton police officers on a bi-weekly basis in or around 2020 and January 2021. Farwell received his paycheck via direct deposit to his account at USAA Federal Savings Bank. The paycheck funds originated with Rockland Trust Bank and were deposited in Farwell's account via an automated clearinghouse transfer. Each automated clearinghouse transfers originated outside of Massachusetts and or traveled through another state before terminating in Farwell's account. That's how they get you. Accordingly, it appears that by engaging in sexual conduct when he should have been performing official duties as a police officer and obtaining pay for that time, Farwell may have committed wire fraud in violation of 18 USC 1343. Farwell unalived Birchmore to prevent her from disclosing information about his commission of federal crimes and possible commission of federal crimes. As described in detail below, there is evidence that Farwell unalived Birchmore on February 1, 2021, to prevent her from disclosing information about his possible commission of a federal crime listed below. Birchmore's pregnancy. On October 5th, 2020, person 1 told Birchmore that Farwell's wife was pregnant with the couple's third child. Person 1 indicated that the lady was due in February 2021. Birchmore responded that she was going to tell Farwell's wife that he had been having sex with her for nearly 10 years. In summary, electronic messages between Farwell and Birchmore for the period beginning on or about October 5, 2020 through January 2021 indicated that Birchmore presented Farwell with an ultimatum. Farwell would have to agree to engage in unprotected sex with Birchmore with the goal of conceiving a child, and in return, Birchmore would not disclose their relationship. Birchmore had already told others that Farwell had been having sex with her since before she was 16 years old, which she knew was a crime, and Birchmore knew that Farwell was leaving work to have sex with her while he was on duty as a Stoughton police officer. According to text messages between Farwell and Birchmore, Birchmore sent Farwell a photo of her ovulation schedule, and the two started discussing timing their sexual encounters around specific times in Birchmore's cycle. Just saw Ralphie in chat, and we hit the cycle part. Approximately 1 week after Farwell agreed to have unprotected sex in order to conceive a child, Farwell and Birchmore had a disagreement about the terms of their agreement. The following is an expert for text conversation on October 12, 2020. Farwell: I said the agreement was once that was our compromise. Birchmore: I asked if we could try this month, didn't realize that meant you F me once, lol. And then I asked if we could try through this year, and you said I'd think about it. The conversation continued on October 13. Our compromise was try once. Yeah, it was to try this month. So you're thinking about the second thing I said as far as the rest of the year? You said try once this month. If it happens, it's meant to be. Those are the exact words. Text messages indicated that a few weeks later, Birchmore continued to discuss trying to get pregnant. On November 3, 2020, she had asked Farwell if they could try again that month or whether they would need to talk in person about that. Farwell responded, that's an in-person discussion. On November 5th, 2020, Birchmore asked Farwell if he had been given any more thoughts to the prior conversation and told him that she thought of a way they could both be happy. How would you feel about us having a baby? You being there and signing the birth certificate. There's never going to be a need for your information anywhere, so you'll be saved there. And I won't talk Smith about her or your kids. That way, we both get what we want. You asked me the other day what I wanted, and I didn't want to give it to you in the form of an ultimatum. So I'm typing to do it. So I'm trying to do it with you as a compromise type of thing. Can you tell me what you thought of? I am down for discussing it in person, but the more I thought about it, you signing it really isn't going to have an impact on you because of the way things are going to fall in the future. Okay, that's an in-person discussion. In November 2020, after Birchmore learned that she was not yet pregnant, she asked Farwell about continuing to try conceiving for another month. On multiple occasions, Farwell told Birchmore that they would need to discuss that topic in person. Farwell continued to meet with Birchmore in person, and text messages suggested that they remained sexually active. On December 28th, 2020, Birchmore sent Farwell a text message informing him that she was pregnant. This isn't good. She sent him a photo of a poster she had made to celebrate the pregnancy. Farwell's immediate response to Birchmore's disclosure about the pregnancy was, I literally have nothing to say right now. How could you express that in text when I said I don't appreciate it? Farwell and Birchmore then argued about the pregnancy in the following text conversation. How far how far are you? Regardless of how far, we're keeping it. But 3.5 weeks, which mean I conceived this month. Oh well, we need to talk then. No, Jean, that's obvious. And the birth certificate is being signed, or hers isn't. No, I'm mad you're acting how you are over a choice we both made. I'm mad you acted like you gave anyone a choice. Lamau. Oh, so you didn't have a choice? Per usual, you make and do whatever you want. All I did was say, Can I have it? Can I have it?" You said, "Have what?" And I said, "You know what I'm asking for." And you stood up and said, "Yeah, you've been doing that. You mad she's due in February and I am in September, and you don't know how you're gonna be there for both of us. And you need to be there during labor for me too. At this time of at the time of these text messages, I know that Farwell's wife was 8 months pregnant with his child, third child. Based on the context of these texts and prior messages, I believe Birchmore was referring to the birth certificate for the child that Farwell's wife was then carrying. Birchmore, because your kid should matter. Late August, early September. Farwell, you are truly the worst person on the face of the earth. After the foregoing conversation, Birchmore again threatened to expose the truth about Farwell's prior sexual abuse and their ongoing relationship. Farwell responded by indicating that Birchmore had threatened him, caused him to agree to impregnate her. Farwell, for the past week and half, the doctor wasn't right, but now she was, and you throw it at me because now you got me. You honestly have absolutely no idea how to treat people. I have effing bent over backwards for you. Now you want to act like this was some free will decision. You had threatened me from the word go. If I didn't do and give you what you wanted, you would ruin me. I made a deal with you, and you changed terms of every turn. We will deal with this tomorrow. Guys and girls in chat, let me tell you something. No matter what your parents told you, babies don't come with the stalk. It comes from a bee flying around, finding a flower, and putting his stinger into that flower. And 9 months later, a little flower comes out of the big flower. You are 20. How? No, he was more than 27 now. You are 30 something year old man. Do you know how you could have prevented her? First of all, don't have sex with an underaged person. Two, don't put your PP inside of her unprotected, protected, no matter how. Your free will came the second you did this. That's free will. She didn't grape you, you big SOB. You graped her. And now you're complaining that she got prick. Do you know how babies are made? You have three of them. You should have listened better in biology because you did this. You could just have said no. Yeah, well, she could have disclosed it to my wife. Well, stop effing around. I'll get divorced. His wife might be a victim too. We don't know yet. Let's not judge her until we see her actions in the future. She may not have known about all of this. Allegedly, she stands by her man, but they always do that to begin with. I try to stay on YouTube. I have told my teen boys, if you have smacks, be prepared to be a father in 9 months. Exactly. He is 38 now, so he would be 35 at the time. Yeah, and he doesn't know where babies come from. It's like talking with Sal. Are you okay, Baker? We all know this is hard enough to review, much less read out loud. Please take care of yourself today. I might take an adult beverage when the stream is over. Oh, we're not done yet. Don't start trashing things so far. Yeah, we this is the first day after he got snatched. Hey, that's Susan. Yeah, he was having fun until it wasn't fun anymore. But he was having fun for almost 10 years. And when and again, fellas, women love with their brain and their heart. We love with our peen. So we can do that thing where we switch around and do all that stuff. If you are with a woman, even as a side piece for 10 years, there will be emotions. It's not just a side piece, especially when you keep them around for 10 years. There's emotion. So, how can you be surprised that this poor lady, can we call her a girl? She was that young, wanted all the things you gave your wife, and you just treated her like that, like a flashlight. He is in jail. He had his arraignment yesterday. The U.S. Marshals have him in custody until the next arraignment, which will be either September 11th or September 10th. I've heard both things. Well, you don't have to. I figured that one out. Pronounce Stoughton. Yes, but I'm also pronouncing rape and sexual abuse in a wrong way. I really, really don't give two F's about how people in Boston pronounce their names when I'm reading about a child being sexually abused. So, sorry, not today. I won't waste 2 seconds thinking about it. I'll read it off the page because right after that, I will have to read how he wanted her to pretend to be 13 while he tried to suffocate her. So, sorry, Stoughton-ites, you're not my priority today. Hope you can live with it because I have to live with the rest of it. Farwell's escalating physical. I don't know how the V word, how I can say. I'll have to figure that out. On December 29th, 2020, Farwell and Birchmore met to a talking person. After this meeting, Birchmore sent Farwell a text alluding to a physical encounter. Birchmore, it made me really uncomfortable and stressed out and scared when you were next to me because I thought you were gonna hit me after you said what you said and took things out of my hand. That's why I was crying. I know you wouldn't, but it still scared me. At least 3 witnesses has disclosed that in the weeks before her death, Birchmore told them that Farwell was physically violent when Birchmore and Farwell discussed the pregnancy. According to death records, Birchmore was 4 feet 10 inches tall. Military records indicate that Farwell was 6 feet 4 inches tall. Person 2 reported that in the weeks prior to Birchmore's death, she was over the moon about her pregnancy. According to Person 2, Birchmore has decreased her coffee consumption, discussed winter clothes for her future baby, and engaged in FaceTime calls with Person 2 while selecting baby clothes. Person 2 indicated that Birchmore was nervous about telling Farwell about the pregnancy, but that she eventually did. In January 2021, Birchmore called Person 2 and stated that after telling Farwell about the baby, Farwell told her that he wished she would just die and he wants nothing to do with the baby. According to the information Birchmore shared with person 2, Farwell put Birchmore in a headlock and grabbed her cell phone from her hand. Person 2 told Birchmore to distance herself from Farwell, given that he was dangerous, a police officer, and obvious did not care about the law. However, person 2 was also aware that Birchmore appeared to be attached to Farwell because she had taken her V card when she was 15 years old. Person 3 also indicated that in the days before her death, Birchmore disclosed that Farwell had been Ireland. Approximately 10 days before Birchmore's death, Birchmore and person 3 went to Walmart to buy a baby stroller for Birchmore's future child. Birchmore was excited about the baby and asked person 3 to be the child's godmother. That's pretty stupid when you try to hide the gender before. Birchmore told person 3 that the day prior, Farwell had gotten angry with her for showing him a fetal sonogram. According to Birchmore, Farwell told her, "That's not my child. I don't want anything really to do with you." And then Farwell pushed her to the ground. Person 3 told Birchmore to end the relationship with Farwell. Person 3 indicated that Birchmore seemed scared, but not really ready to leave Farwell because Farwell had had such a big part of Birchmore's life for several years. Additionally, person 7, Birchmore's long-time therapist, reported that in the weeks before Birchmore's death, Birchmore reported to her that Farwell got upset about the impending pregnancy and shoved her. In addition to the description of Farwell's Ireland's targeting Birchmore from person 2, person 3, and person 7, Birchmore's text messages to person 1 further confirms Farwell's escalating Ireland's. On January 10, Birchmore sent person 1 a text message indicating that she had recently argued with Farwell. Birchmore told person 1 that during the argument, Farwell took her cell phone out of her hand 3 times and refused to give it back to her. Birchmore also indicated that Farwell took her computer out of her hand and used his body to shove her. In January 2021, there was an increasing pressure on Farwell. In January, the pressure on Farwell increased as a result of Birchmore's pregnancy. Birchmore tried to communicate with Farwell regarding her due date, ultrasounds, genetic testing, gender reveals, and doctor appointments. In his text responses, Farwell was unresponsive to or dismissive of those topics, and he appeared to ignore them. On January 4th, Birchmore told Farwell that she was going to the doctor the next day and asked if he wanted to know how the appointment went. Farwell did not directly reply to that question. On January 5th, Birchmore asked Farwell to come over so they could discuss her estimated due date, the week of her first ultrasound, her conversation with her doctor, and her first appointment. Farwell did not respond directly to that request. Text messages from January 3rd shows that Birchmore asked Farwell if their child could have his last name. However, he told her he would not discuss that issue via text. So I have a compromise for you. You don't need to sign the birth certificate if the baby can have your last name. Not discussing in text, we can talk in person. In another text message on January 6th, Birchmore began to ask Farwell what their family would look like. You don't have to sign the birth certificate if I'm allowed to at last list you and they can have your name and I won't move to Stoughton or the town where Farwell's family resides. 2, I won't meet about holidays, but I would like you to come a few days before Christmas and Easter so you can see what they get from me, and I don't want you to leave them out. And 3, if you want to try and support them, we can talk about that, but I do want you to see them. I feel like I'm trying to be as fair as I can, and I want you there for labor that I'm standing my ground on. Last name. Farwell. Okay, we can discuss this more in person. Okay, I figured. Does it kind of sound okay to you? Farwell's reluctance to discuss the pregnancy via text messages is significant because it is inconsistent with Farwell and Birchmore's long history of text messages discussing regarding seemingly private topics. For example, there are thousands of texts between Farwell and Birchmore in which Farwell discusses details regarding his work as a police officer, his sexual fantasies that was predominantly Ireland, and included many references to choking and grape, and graphic details about their previous sexual encounters. Kills Bills. Thank you so much for the donation to the demonetization fund. I can't even see if I'm demonetized yet. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about with. Did I miss something? Would Aiden's hearing be streamed anywhere today? I haven't seen anything. I know Kate Peters is supposed to be in court today as well, and there's a Zoom link for it somewhere. DA Meatball Morrissey and his band of corrupt state police detectives have their boogeyman chasing them. USDA Josh Levy, who is gaining on them fast, impending doom for all of them. There's probably a reason why they were not fans of his. Miss Wee, I watched this last night with Runkle of the Bailey, and to be honest, I can't. Oh, he read this part as well. I just saw him reading the indictment, but yeah, this is not fun. But thank you for stopping by. Stoughton rhymes with Snoughton. Weird pronunciation that no one's get right. Why would you get demonetized? Because my topic isn't advertiser friendly. K. Peters is continued. Again, yeah, they were waiting for some police report. February 1st, 2nd, around that time. Also, demonetization fine. Appreciate you going through this, especially with how hard of a read it is. Yeah, it's. But hopefully, none of you is in an office without headsets on, because they will look at you and say, "Why are you listening to that? Are you that sick?" So Sandra blackmailed into getting her pregnant definitely strengthens Farwell's motive for murder. Yeah, she put, as they said, she put the pressure on him. Grandma got her wings. Remember, you can always take a break. Always. I'm doing. I'm doing this. I'll live with the consequences. I've done stupid things before. So, Farwell, it's a lot to think about. It's so much more than you have ever asked for, Birchmore, and still less than what any other girl would ask for. On January 20, person 2 called the Stoughton Police Department, and in that call referenced the sexual relationship between Birchmore and Farwell. After learning about this call, the fact of which suggested at least some aspect of Farwell's illicit conduct may have been exposed to the Stoughton. We'll go with Stoughton now. Police Department. Farwell sent Birchmore text messages revealing his extreme anger. He sent her a series of text messages with expletives, telling Birchmore that he thought no one knew about their relationship, that she had no clue how bad this was, and indicating that he does not know if he need to worry about about other disclosures. Farwell, dude, you effing friend called my job Sandra. WTF. Birchmore, huh? Your friend, person 2, just called my effing work to complain about me. WTF? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I literally just woke up. Did you did you steal from her? Nope. What is going on? You also told me that no one knew about us, yet she claimed we are effing. It's literally nothing. It's not nothing. She called my job. That's insane. Why would she call and drop my effing name, Sandra? Like, what do I have to do with you not giving her something? Like, you have no idea how bad what she did is. I literally can't believe this is even real life. Like, what else do I have to worry about now? Which other friend will do something tomorrow? Yeah, poor you. Stupid. During this investigation, I have interviewed Person 5, an employee of Stoughton Police Department, who received the call from Person 2 on January 2. Person 5 indicated that she took down Person 2's name and information and gave it to Farwell. Person 5 indicated that Farwell immediately got angry and peed off and ordered Person 5 not to speak about this to anyone and to never talk about it again. Person 5 described Farwell's reaction as atypical and not consistent with his normal behavior. Murphy, you don't have to contribute to demonetization. It's it's not my normal ad revenue is maybe $10, so you have more than enough in the demonetization fund. But thank you so much. And Susan M, I don't understand the demonetization content that YouTube deems is not advertiser friendly will not be monetized. So they won't run any ads. It's just don't worry about it. I don't get that much ad money anyway because you need like tens of thousands of views before uh, it really makes a big dent in anything. But thank you so much. And for the monetization from Mama Smith, thank you for going through this very difficult document. It's hard but important. Thanks, Baker. It isn't the funniest thing in the world, especially because this man put himself in this position by grooming her from a very young age. He did all of this, and he never ever took responsibility for his own bad behavior. That's the thing I just can't get over. That it's her. She did it wrong. She did everything wrong. You know what's insane? Grooming a child and raping her. Now I see it and I say the other word. Raping her and expecting zero consequences. Dear Lord, this man is delusional. Yes, I agree. This man is completely whacked off his mind because he just wants all the fun, none of the consequences. And as a man in his 30s, he should know better than that. Hey, Irish. Yeah, yeah. I just, but again, law tubing isn't the most highly paid ad revenue. I'm, yeah, I want to cover the case from the court, but why is it federal? Because state effed up. So for the justice of Sandra Birchmore, I think I can live with him going to federal instead of going to state, so we could watch it. Person 5 is a POS for giving him the message with the name of the person instead of reporting him. Yes, Jenny. I would love to know if person 5 is still a member of the MSP Stoughton Police Department, whatever department he worked for. Because then they should get fired. Because they had a complaint from a citizen and they didn't file it correctly. Thank you, Be Kind Tiger. But again, all of this stems from the way Morrissey is running his department, because they just believe we can protect each other. Nothing will hurt us. Nothing would harm us. Scott McGinnis, you lied the other day. You said that you were getting a mod for the first time. Scott, don't lie to the women. You'll end up like this. Yeah, but audio only is kind of weird. But if we could, we could. Rumplepole is clueless. Should get the timeline straight before going on a rant. Not sure. Garina didn't find any of these texts. The FBI did. Yeah, but as you go on the Smurf part of Twitter, they will say, well, it's because they looked at his phone. They didn't do. They didn't look on his iCloud. If you do an extraction with Cellbrite, you would get all of that. And why didn't you look on his iCloud? No, thank you, Susan M. Has anyone from Morrissey's office spoke on this today? Yes. Ongoing investigation. We don't comment on ongoing investigations, but we, of course, work with the state police, the federal police, and the USDA's office. Remember, Morrissey also earlier said that they weren't agreeing with the USDA. Birchmore's final days. We're halfway through. On January 24th, approximately 1 week prior to Birchmore's death, she communicated with person 8 about Farwell. Birchmore. So the father came by last night. It was like a complete 360 change. 180? Yeah, lol. Person 5 did not have an independent memory of the call, but I confirmed it. Okay, not important. Good or bad? Good, but unexpected. So it kind of threw me off and made me a little uncomfortable. But that's because of how things were going. He asked me if I'd give him a key and said that if I kept it a secret, he'll be around and see them and all that. So it's somewhere. Then he looked in my closet and then the bathroom, but I don't know. I don't know why. Haven't figured that out. We started to heart to heart. Then work called him, so he had to leave. Oh, and he brought me a ginger ale because I ran out. What about the birth certificate? I think he's signing it. Not sure. He's coming back again this week. But it was like it was like a complete like 180. I can't read young woman. But it was like a complete like 180 from where we were at. Based on my training and experience, I believe that Farwell's swift and demeanor on or about this date was his attempt to appease Birchmore until he could unalive her. Additionally, the foregoing text message, considered in the light of the other evidence, suggests that Farwell was making a plan to unalive Birchmore. Part of that plan included asking Birchmore to give him a key and keep it a secret. Another part of that plan was inspecting various rooms in Birchmore's apartment, including the closet, to determine whether they contained items or presented options for how and when to unalive Birchmore. Farwell's request for a key for Birchmore's apartment in the week leading up to her death is corroborated by other by other evidence. I have received text messages between Farwell and Birchmore from January 24, in which Birchmore gave Farwell the passcode to her. On February 4th, 2021, Canton police found Birchmore's body next to the closet door with a duffel bag strap around her neck. The strap was wrapped around the closet door handles. In which Birchmore gave Farwell the passcode to her building's front door and told him, I have your key too when you want it. Additionally, I have reviewed records from Walmart that suggest that Birchmore did in fact pay approximately $2 to have a key copied at approximately 11:10 a.m. on January 24th. According to text messages Birchmore and Farwell exchanged on January 29th, Birchmore again gave Farwell the passcode to her building front door, and Farwell verified that the code was the general one given to the entire building, not just one assigned to her. Farwell requesting or accepting a key to Birchmore apartment was a sudden change from recent conversations. I have reviewed text messages between Farwell and Birchmore, one as recent as October 14, in which Farwell told her that he did not think it was a good idea for him to keep a key for her new Canton apartment. In a conversation with her friend, person 9, on January 24th, Birchmore indicated that she was surprised that Farwell was now requesting a key to the apartment. Person 9. Did it go good with him? Birchmore, I got hit with a shocker question. Can I call you? So what really will surprisingly him he a- so what really will surprisingly him he asked if he could have a key. I'm basic I am basically said he'll be around as long as I keep it a secret and don't tell anybody. But he did admit that I do have the upper hand in the situation, which isn't a good thing. But I'm trying to and not to be that person, if you know what I mean. Person 9. I get it. Are you gonna give him a key? I just made a copy of it. Yeah, that's good. I'm not gonna give it to him yet, but he's also brought me a ginger ale last night, like I asked him to. He's coming around. A lot more than I thought he was going to, yes. I still have to verify the PIN for him to get into the apartment if he rings me and I don't answer. But like last night, he opened my closet door for something, and then he went into my bathroom, looking at my bathroom, and then I have a dolly in my living room that he asked why I had it. Just really odd. He started looking around. I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, it was really weird. Hey, Maya, good to see you. Squat Bob, remonetization. Why didn't that pop up? Remonetization fund after Baker brings up the even worse Turnersay case in Denmark. I can't do that. I absolutely can't do that. That was two sisters who were two underage sisters who was passed around and sold, rented out, let's say that, by their parents through a lot of years, and child services just closed their eyes. It has been a big problem in Denmark ever since. And back when I was in city council, I was in the part of in what we call child and youth subcommittee, and we talked about that a lot because that really showed people doing bad stuff. Well, Maya, then don't stick around because you won't be happy when you're reading this one. According to text messages between Farwell and Birchmore 2 days before Birchmore's death, she continued to engage Farwell about planning for the birth of the child. On January 30th, Birchmore asked Farwell if she could tell him the baby name tell him the baby name she was considering. Farwell told her he would rather discuss that topic in person. Leading up to February 1st, 2021, Birchmore planned for other important baby-related events, such as who would care for her cats when she went into labor. I know it's your first baby and all that, but uh, you're already planning who takes care of your cats when you are 3.5 weeks pregnant. Thank you so much, Marissa, for 5 memberships to Jenny, Lolita Smiles, Iris, and Maya Sørensen. and Heidi. Welcome. And most of you have seen before. Welcome back in the flock. Coming in late because of work, but hope everyone is having a good day. So glad to see justice for Sandra and her loved ones. Elizabeth, I have to be honest, I'm not having the best of days. Turtle Boy has a 2 p.m. Eastern hearing and Dedham Superior Court. Yeah, take care of her cats. That's a little premature. She ordered baby items and conducted Google searches related to a pregnancy and further child rearing decisions. She also planned for the newborn baby for newborn baby photos, an official pregnancy announcement, which she planned to do on Valentine's Day, as well as a gender reveal. She also made plans for her more immediate future, scheduling an OBGYN appointment for February 10th and asking Farwell to help shovel out her car during the impending snowstorm. The planning is of note because it indicates that shortly before her death, Birchmore was doing things that would indicate her plans for the future. It is also important because it reveals a level of care for her pets that is inconsistent with the circumstances of her death. Specifically, when police found Birchmore's body in her apartment on February 4th, her cats was present. She had made no arrangement for the animals. During the investigation, agents also learned that Birchmore had been taking classes in preparation for applying to nursing school. The day Birchmore died, on February 1st, 2021, at 12:19 p.m., Birchmore sent Farrell a text message indicating that she was going to be released early at 12:35 p.m. from her job at the Sharon Public Schools. Farwell told her that he would not be in the area that day. Later in the afternoon on February 1st, Birchmore told Farwell that she had received a Carly gift in the mail and that she was not planning to have a baby shower until late March because of the then going cough pandemic. She told Farwell that once she had learned whether they were having a boy or a girl, she wanted him to purchase clothes for the child to wear when he or she came home from the hospital. Investigators have reviewed surveillance video from Birchmore's Canton apartment building on February 1st, 2021. She is seen on the video at approximately 5:01 p.m. accepting a DoorDash order and then again going outside briefly and returning with a snow brush on 5:31 p.m. and 5:33 p.m. respectively. The last time Birchmore is seen alive on the video is on February 1st, 2021 at 5:33 p.m. Later that evening at approximately 9:08 p.m., Farwell sent Birchmore a text message asking whether he could come by for a second. At approximately 9:10 p.m., Birchmore sent Farwell a text message indicating that when he arrived at her apartment, the door would be open for him. This is the last known outgoing message sent from Birchmore's cell phone. Surveillance videos show Farwell entering Birchmore's Canton apartment building at 9:14 p.m. In the surveillance video, Farwell is wearing street clothes, a hoodie with a hood up, a face mask that is similar to the medical face mask that many people use during the cough pandemic. I have interviewed multiple witnesses who has each indicated that Farwell resisted wearing a mask during the pandemic. One of these witnesses stated that Farwell would only wear a mask when on duty and required by department policy to do so. The video surveillance recording showed that Farwell left Birchmore's apartment at 9:43. And there were some footnotes. I am aware that the electronic timestamp at the apartment complex video surveillance system was off by approximately 13 minutes. The surveillance video time set forth in this affidavit account for this 13-minute difference and are therefore the approximate real times of the events. I have received Massachusetts State Police investigative reports that which tentatively identified Farrell as the person on surveillance footage entering Birchmore's apartment on did the footnote consider on February 1st, 2021. I have also received a report regarding state police detectives' interview of Farwell, in which Farwell admits that he went to Birchmore's apartment on February 1st. In that interview, Farwell stated that he had been there between approximately 9:10 and 9:30 p.m. Canton police officers found Birchmore's body on February 4th. On February 4th, 2021, Canton police officers conducted a well-being check at Birchmore's apartment. One of Birchmore's co-workers called the police because Birchmore had failed to show up for work that day. When officers arrived, they found Birchmore's body seated on the floor in a reclined position with a duffel bag strap tied around her neck. That strap was connected to a closet doorknob, the closet that Farwell had inspected approximately 1 week earlier. At least one first responder quickly concluded that Birchmore has been deceased for days. I have reviewed crime scene photographs that depict Birchmore wearing the same clothing that she was wearing when she was seen on video entering her apartment on February 1st at approximately 5:33. This is consistent with Birchmore having died later the same evening. According to police reports, when Birchmore's body was found, her cell phone was on the floor, located approximately 12 inches from her right hand and 6 inches from her bent right knee. I have reviewed the data on Birchmore's phone. A log report indicates that the phone was locked from 9:13 p.m. on February 1 until the device powered off because of battery loss on February 3, 2021. On February 1, 2021, while still locked, Birchmore's phone recorded a screenshot of a blank screen at 9:18 p.m. In other words, after sending a final text message to Farwell to tell him the door was unlocked, Birchmore's phone locked and was not unlocked until after the device was recovered by police. Health data on Birchmore's phone indicate that the last movement recorded by the phone was February 1, occurred at 9:40. This was 3 minutes before Farwell was captured on surveillance video leaving Birchmore's apartment. Significantly, this data indicates that the mechanism that Apple used to record movement registered 8 steps at approximately 9:40. These recorded steps occurred while Farwell was still in Birchmore's apartment. The phone recorded no additional steps between 9:40 and the time it was recovered by first responders on February 4th. As noted above, first responders ultimately found the phone next to Birchmore's body. Based on my review of the frequency of Birchmore's phone use over weeks, months, and years leading up to her death, her failure to access her phone is inconsistent with her usual habits when alive and awake. If adults ever tell you to keep a secret, you should be very scared and tell someone. I agree, Nicola. I reviewed Birchmore's phone use from the hours leading up to her death on February 1st. The following are some of the items on Birchmore's phone data from the hours before her death. This is evidence that appears to be inconsistent with Birchmore, a pregnant woman choosing to self-delete that day. I'm just going to read the footnotes. Based on my training and experience, I'm aware that Apple iPhone can be used to track and retain health-related data of the user, included but not limited to steps taken. I have also interviewed multiple witnesses who have reported on Birchmore's frequent, almost incessant phone use. In fact, one witness referred to Birchmore's phone as her third hand. 125 to 131, Birchmore communicated with a photographer regarding the timeline for booking a newborn photography shoot. 7:57 p.m., Birchmore texted a friend to obtain baby clothes from her. 8:25 p.m., Birchmore performed a Google search for Copy Kids Furniture. That must be a brand I don't know. The conditions of and items found in Birchmore's apartment were inconsistent with Birchmore self-deleting. I have interviewed family members who helped clean Birchmore's apartment in the days following her death. Some of the things they observed was also inconsistent with Birchmore deciding to self-delete. For example, during their first visit, they noted that Birchmore had been in the middle of doing laundry when she died, with a load of wet clothes in the washing machine and another load dry in the dryer. Additionally, they observed a homemade sign saying, "Congratulations, you're going to be a father." That sign had an ultrasound photo on it and it was sprinkled with glitter. Additionally, in Birchmore's apartment, family members observed a new baby stroller that was still in its package. They also observed homemade and store bought onesies for a baby. One onesie read, "We're going to be parents," with a set of footprints underneath. Birchmore had packages that had been delivered recently, including clothing and other supplies for her baby. Birchmore had ordered items shortly before her death, and packages continued to arrive in the days following her death. Finally, family members found a necklace that belonged to Birchmore lying on the floor of her bedroom. This necklace consisted of a thin gold chain with a pink flamingo charm. The family members observed that the necklace chain was broken, but not at the clasp. There was also a big clump of hair on the chain. From my review of the crime scene photos, I observed that while the strap was still around Birchmore's neck, the necklace was broken and hanging from the left side of her neck. The necklace charm was on the right side of her abdomen. What a fun day we're having today. I understand why Jamie is at work. Autopsy and medical evidence. An medical examiner pathologist performed an autopsy on Birchmore's body. The medical examiner determined that Birchmore's cause of death was asphyxia by, I don't know if I can say hanging. The medical examiner ruled Birchmore's manner of death a self-deletion. The medical examiner written autopsy report noted that Birchmore's thyroid bone, a U-shaped bone in the front of the neck, was fractured on the right side and that she suffered from petechial hemorrhages or of the bulbar and palpebral conjunctiva. I don't know. Additionally, the medical examiner concluded that Birchmore had a hemorrhage of her left sternothoracic muscle. Stern, that's in the back. Thyroid. I don't know where that is. The medical examiner's autopsy report further confirmed that Birchmore was approximately 8 to 10 weeks pregnant at the time of her death. The autopsy included toxicology testing. The results of the toxicology test was negative for all substance except for sertraline, which is likely explained by the antidepressant Birchmore had been prescribed. As part of this investigation, the government retained Dr. William Smock as an expert to independently review the crime scene photos, autopsy photos, and the medical examiner's autopsy report. Dr. Smock is an emergency medical residency and forensic. In my review of Birchmore's phone data, I noticed several photos of Birchmore in which she is wearing this necklace. Okay. Is an emergency medicine residency and forensic fellowship trained physician with more than 40 years of experience in the forensic evaluation of injuries, crime scenes, the forensic evaluation and reconstruction of wounds, including asphyxia-related death. His training experience and position as a police surgeon, instructor at the Louisville Metro Police Academy, instructor for the U.S. Department of Justice, a professor of emergency medicine, blah, 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 blah. And he has treated and evaluated. Let's get to his conclusions instead. Based on his review of the evidence, Dr. Smock have made several observations and conclusions that call into question the prior finding that Birchmore's cause of death was self-deletion, and instead further confirmed that Birchmore's cause of death was homicide. First, Dr. Smock concluded that the fracture on the right superior horn of Birchmore's hyroid bone is not consistent with the position in which the first responders found her sitting. A sitting hanging, also called an incomplete hanging, means only partial body weight is applied to the neck ligature. Dr. Smock Dr. Smock's review of hundreds of cases of hanging in the forensic medical literature found no reported cases of hyroid bone fractures in seated women. Fractures of the hyroid bone are more commonly seen in strangulation assaults and in hangings with full body weight applied to the ligature, but not seated hangings. Thank you, Susan M. You don't have to super chat me. It's very appreciated, but it's not needed. My day will be better. I'm going to eat something fat and disgusting. I'm probably going to drive to McDonald's and get some bad food. I deserve it today. And hey, Valhalla, I saw you snuck in here. Oh. The higher bones connected to the non-bone. All right. I can't find the name of the original medical examiner anywhere. Does anyone know the name? Yeah, that could be interesting. The hyroid bone can be fractured and cause death during a strangulation. It's like a fragile wishbone. Yeah, and that's when that they always try to check that if they come across a self deletion to see if it could have been someone. There's no way she could have broken her hyroid with the method of self deletion she was posed in. You would only get that solo if you had a long drop and a weight tied to you. A long drop and a sudden stop. Yes. We both know what we would do to him. Baker like butterfly and other lovely things. I have I hope I like a lot of things. How can you never order Burger King? It was Michael Bowden. No, that's the guy that they hired the family, right? Have some spunk sweets. I should do that. Matthew Farwell was actually lazy in the staging of her body. Propping her seated and tied to closet door handle was his easiest way to fake the hanging. Much harder for him to suspend her. Yeah, and again, if she's resting against the door, no, we shouldn't talk about how things should work, but it's the good old put your hands in the pocket thing and lean forward. Second, Dr. Smock noted that during the autopsy, a pattern imprint was documented on Birchmore's right upper chest. The pattern imprint was the consequence of a buckle or buckles from the ligature strap being forced downward into Miss Birchmore's chest. The presence of this pattern imprint is not consistent with a ligature hanging. Rather, the presence of the pattern is consistent with blunt force trauma from an assault. When first responders found Birchmore's body, the buckle responsible for this imprint was observed just below her right ear. What happened there? However, the location of the imprint on her chest is not consistent with an incomplete ligature hanging. Third, Dr. Smock reviewed the autopsy photos that depicted Birchmore with areas of skin missing from the inferior and lateral aspects of her nose consistent with abrasions. These type of injuries are commonly seen in cases of suffocation where the victim moves their nose back and forth in an effort to breathe. Fourth, Dr. Smock noted that Birchmore was in the habit of always wearing a chain necklace with a flamingo pendant. The chain was found broken around Birchmore's neck. The breaking of Birchmore's chain necklace is consistent with a struggle. Dr. Smock, based on his education, experience, training, and his review of the materials in this case, opined with a reasonable degree of medical and scientific certainty that the cause of Miss Birchmore's death was asphyxia and the manner of her death was homicide. Massachusetts State Police interview with Matthew Farrell. On February 6, 2021, 2 days after police found Birchmore's body in her apartment, Massachusetts State Police detectives interviewed Farwell. The interview occurred in the parking lot of a Stoughton elementary school. During the interview, Farwell made false statements about his relationship with Birchmore. Farwell told officers that he was involved in a sexual relationship with Birchmore, but he claimed the relationship only began in 2020. Based on the investigation, Farwell's statement to police was false. As described above, Farwell began having sex with Birchmore in 2013 and continued to have sex with her until near her death. Farwell told detectives that he had only had sex with Birchmore 2 or 3 times in the previous year. This statement was also false, based on text messages between Farwell and Birchmore. Farwell had sexual intercourse with Birchmore on at least 10 occasions between January 2020 and February 2021. Farwell also told detectives that he could not have been the father of Birchmore's unborn child because the last time he had intercourse with her was October 2020. This statement is also false. Set forth below is a text message conversation between Farwell and Birchmore on November 18th, in which they discuss an upcoming sexual encounter. I'm going to try for tonight. I've been in interviews all day from the unaliving. Sorry. Exciting. Okay, I'm running to the store and doing something for you then. I hope you can come. What are you doing for me? Lol. Saving. Are you planning on rolling me over? I need to know what you want if you come. If you want me to roll you, would you want me to use a condom if I roll you? I don't have any, lol. I never picked any up. Do you want me to just take Do you want me to just take what you do or try and say no? I know being told no is your favorite. Say no. Smiley face, a winky smiley face. I can do that. Approximately 20 minutes after the foregoing text message, Farwell told Birchmore that he was at her apartment, and subsequent text messages indicated that she had let him in approximately 25 minutes later. Birchmore asked Farwell via text message whether he enjoyed having the JJ smacks with her again, and he responded, yeah. During the February 6th interview, Farwell told detectives that he had been at Birchmore's apartment on the night of February 1st. However, he denied having anything to do with her death. He told detectives that he had arrived around 9:10 and left around 9:30 p.m. I am aware from my review of surveillance footage from Birchmore's apartment building that Farwell actually left at 9:43 p.m. This was after Birchmore's phone stopped sending messages or recording movement. Within approximately 13 hours of Farwell's visit to Birchmore's apartment on February 1st, his wife gave birth to their third child at Newton Wellesley Hospital, adding to the intensifying pressure to ensure that Birchmore would not disclose information regarding Farwell's conduct. So this POS did some house cleaning uh, on this girl on the same night his wife went into labor. And thank you, someone, for the 5 corner kisses. Thank you for all your hard work and real honesty on every topic and your sense of humor. Well, someone, thank you so much. I try because even when it's tough, it's worth it. Oh, I'm behind, but thanks to whoever gifted me a membership again. Y'all are appreciated. That was Marissa. Mm. He passed her around to other cops like a liquor bottle. I hope more gets down. That's not going to be a great birthday for that kid. No, it'll be forever be tied to this. Let's just hope that the wife gets out of this before he goes to prison, then they can start a new life. Is it me, or did that sound like he wanted to reenact a sexual assault, those messages? No, that is actually what is happening. If you see what Sandra is saying, do you want me to just take what you do and try and say no? I know told no is your favorite. If you go back in the beginning when we talked about his sexual violence, he liked the grape fantasy. He was really fond of the grape fantasy. Rachel Ann, I'm so sorry. The wife told him to get rid of the problem. Horrible people. If that's true, yeah. See you later, TLA, when you catch up to us. Farwell told detectives that he had not seen Birchmore at all in the week leading up to her death, except during the visit to her apartment on February 1st. Based on my review of the text messages between Farwell and Birchmore, Farwell visited Birchmore at her apartment on January 29th. Farwell told detectives that Birchmore had been sectioned many times. Based on my training and experience, sectioned is a term that Massachusetts law enforcement officers often use to refer to the practice of involuntary hospitalization on a temporary basis. Person with severe mental health issues. However, the Stoughton Police Department, the law enforcement agency in the town where Birchmore lived her whole life before moving to Canton on or about December 1st, has a record of Birchmore being subjected to this temporary mental health hospitalization only one time in May of 2020. According to police records and information disclosed by Person 7, on that day, Birchmore had gotten into a fight with a family member who called the police and reported Birchmore was going to harm herself. The police took Birchmore to the hospital where she was evaluated and deemed not at risk for self-harm. She was released a few hours later. According to Person 7, Birchmore stated that she was not in a self-deletion mood. Just angry at her family member. Additionally, I am aware that minutes after Birchmore's release from the unfounded section, Farwell and Birchmore engaged in a graphic sexual conversation. Later, Birchmore apologized for worrying Farwell, and Farwell replied, I wasn't worried. I know you're fine. Matilda Hanen. Thank you for watching from Holland. I'm big in Holland. The Canton Police Department has no record of Birchmore being subject to temporary mental health hospitalizations. Don't look at the word, just hospitalizations. While there's evidence that indicate that Birchmore may have had self-deletion ideations on a few occasions between 2016 and 2018, which Farwell likely knew about because he was exploiting her during that time, I am not aware of credible evidence of any self-deletion ideation in the approximately 3 years leading up to her death. In fact, all of the witnesses who agents interviewed about their interactions with Birchmore in the weeks leading up to her death suggested that during that period, she was excited, optimistic, and involved in future planning. Person 7 had a therapy session with Birchmore on January 31st, 2021. During that meeting, Person 7 screened Birchmore for any signs of depression or self-deletion ideation. He or she found none. Person 7 had regular sessions with Birchmore and noted no signs of depression or self deletion ideation in the month leading up to Birchmore's death, and had her next appointment scheduled with Birchmore for February 4th. Additionally, Farwell told detectives that he had been trying to distance himself from Birchmore. This is inconsistent with evidence that in Birchmore's final days, Farwell asked for a key to her apartment. I have also reviewed a text message from January 28th, just days before Birchmore's death, in which Farwell told her that when he came over that night, he would give her hugs. In that same conversation, he told her that he may not be able to visit her because he was at a unaliving, but that it was all good because we do them all the time. In addition, I have reviewed a text message exchange between Birchmore and Farwell on January 29th, in which Birchmore expressed joy at Farwell agreeing to engage in sexual activity with her again. Farwell's post interview conduct. Following Birchmore's death, the Stoughton Police Department placed Farwell on administrative leave. Around that time, Farwell met a co-worker, Person 4, at a local bar. During this meeting, Farwell told Person 4 that he had had a sexual relationship with Birchmore. However, according to Person 4, at no point during that conversation did Farwell express any sadness, grief, or remorse about Birchmore's death. Farwell told Person 4 that he was angry with MSP for looking into him. At some point during the summer of 2021, Person 4 attended a social gathering with Farwell, during which Farwell participated in a joke about Birchmore being hung on the door. I am aware that in Farwell's time as a Stoughton police officer and then detective, he responded to unattended death. That's okay. Additional evidence relevant to detention. Farwell had a history of, I don't know what word I can use for that. Well, here we go. Choking Birchmore. Through this investigation, agents have identified evidence that Farwell expressed an interest in violent smacks and had a history of choking Birchmore. On more than one occasion, Farwell asked Birchmore to perform his grape fantasy doing smacks, whereby Birchmore would pretend to be the victim of Farwell's simulated sexual assaults. Moreover, I have reviewed text messages that indicate that over the course of their relationship, Farwell initiated the concept of choking Birchmore on numerous occasions. Valhalla, no, CJ Lorraine, he is held by U.S. Marshals. In 2020, the year preceding her death, text messages revealed that Farwell told Birchmore on at least 20 separate occasions that he would grab her throat, pin her down by her throat, squeeze her throat, or choke her doing sexual activities. These messages were sent on the following dates. Based on my review of Birchmore's journal entries as early as 2013, when Birchmore was just 16-year-old, Farwell introduced the idea of choking during their sexual encounters and discussions. One such example of Farwell promising to choke Birchmore occurred on October 14, 2020, when Farwell told Birchmore that he was going to cover her mouth doing smacks and maybe I'll choke you a little. In the same conversation, Farwell told Birchmore, "I'll grab your throat and say you won't say a word to anyone." On October 15, Farwell told Birchmore that during the next sexual encounter, he was going to grab her throat and say, shut the F up now, or I won't pull out. On November 13, Farwell and Birchmore again discussed choking. In that conversation, Farwell told Birchmore, "Maybe I'll hold you down by your throat while I pound you." He asked how tight he should squeeze and then stated that he wanted her to feel like, "Oh my God, this is really happening and I can't stop it." Farwell used violent smacks as a form of punishment. Birchmore's journal entries from 2013 through 2020 detail a continuous and sometimes violent sexual relationship with Farwell. Birchmore often journaled about Farwell using smack acts to punish her. According to her journal entries, Farwell would engage in forceful oral with JJ and backdoor smacks acts to punish her for her mistakes, such as getting bad grades, having intercourse with other people, and failing to share her cell phone location with him. I have reviewed numerous text messages that Farwell sent Birchmore, including some from March 2019, which are consistent with Farwell's practice of using certain smack acts to punish her for lying or being intimate with someone else. For example, in a text conversation on March 7, you would have to take a serious pounding to make me happy. Is it for everything? No. You owe me 3. I'll give you a break and spread them out. Please, not all all the same day. No, I'll give you like a week so you can feel it, and then as soon as it goes away, you'll get it again, so you feel it for like a whole month. Not gonna be a fun month, not for you. Mm, yeah. Farmel's fixation on grape fantasies. Text messages between Farwell and Birchmore reveal Farwell's interest in sexual assault. For example, in one text conversation on November 8th, Farwell told Birchmore that he enjoyed having sex with her. When Birchmore asked what would be perfect for him, Farwell replied, "You say no and make me take it." Full R word. When Birchmore indicated she was amenable to that, Farwell responded, "Doesn't matter, I'll do whatever I want anyways." During another text message conversation between Farwell and Birchmore, Farwell instructed Birchmore to call him Daddy during sexual encounters. In that conversation on October 18, Farwell told Birchmore that Daddy was going to engage in number 2 smacks with her. He also indicated that when he was done, he was going to grab her hair, pull her head back, and tell her to keep her effing mouth shut. Do you understand me? That's just, yeah, we can figure that one out. Farwell was has obsessive and controlling tendencies. Text messages between Farwell and Birchmore include Farwell repeated demands that Birchmore set her phone's location sharing settings to allow him to always view her location. In these conversations, Farwell indicated Birchmore needed to share this information in order to gain back his trust for her alleged lies and infidelity. On March 11, Farwell asked Birchmore why her location was off and why he can no longer see it. On March 22, Farwell asked Birchmore to reveal her location. When she responded that she was at 7-Eleven, Farwell told her that he knew she was in Abington, and he asked multiple times why she would go there when Stoughton has 100 convenience stores. On April 22, sent Birchmore a text stating, I know you're hiding, yet your location is off again." In June 22, Farwell sent Birchmore a text asking why she turned off her location data the other day. July 5th, reached out to Birchmore saying, "I see your location is off again." July of 2020, apparently transitioned from wanting to track Birchmore's location to prioritizing secrecy. Farwell, you can turn off your location. You can turn your location back off if you want. It wasn't off. That's why I wasn't sure it wasn't showing up. Then I just unshared and reshared it with you. You can have it. It's been a thing for years. Lol. Lol. Okay. I don't know if you know where I am. I'm not doing anything. I shouldn't be. My leg's shaking a, a lot right now. I'm feeling that tomorrow. Lol, I know that I just don't really like any of that stuff. Big Brother is always watching. I don't understand what you mean. I'm just saying iPhone keep track of way too much stuff. I don't mean anything by it. Foul's iCloud account contains disturbing images regarding violence and necrophilia. Give me 2 seconds before we read this part. During this investigation, pursuant to federal search warrant, agents obtained and reviewed data from Farwell's iCloud account. Located in Farwell's iCloud was several memes that indicate his interest in sexual intercourse with dead bodies. A meme that states, "What does a pulse and an orgasm have in common? I don't care if she has either." I can probably not say that on YouTube. Another meme states, "If you F a corpse on a waterbed, it feels like they are participating." A meme glorifying a person who unalives and sexually abuses someone who no one will miss. Farwell's iCloud data also contains images that reveals his interest in domestic and sexual violence. A meme containing a photo of a woman with tape over her mouth that states duct tape, turning no, no, no into since 1942. Farwell's iCloud data also includes images that could reveal his interest in choking. Let's stick with that one. For example, one such image states, "When she says, 'Choke me, daddy,' and you get carried away, and now she's not here anymore." There's also a screenshot of an image of a woman saying that she could not sleep, followed by a man choking her, saying, "Good night, B word." Farwell's effort to conceal his crime. On February 9th, after giving his personal cell phone to state police detectives, Farwell used his Stoughton police issued cell phone to make and delete two Google searches. First, Farwell searched and deleted, "Can delete iMessage be recovered by Cellbrite?" He then searched for and deleted, "Can you revoke consent in Massachusetts?" I have identified text messages between Farwell and Birchmore in which Farwell directed Birchmore to destroy evidence of their sexual relationship. On March 11, 2019, sent Birchmore a text reminding her to make sure you clear all this out. On March 19, sent Birchmore text about his desire to use sexual violence and pretend to grape her. At the end of the conversation, Farwell sent her text indicating that he was going to bed and instructed her to clear out this text. On June 5th, directed Birchmore to make sure all of their text messages and Facebook messages had been deleted. There's also text messages between Farwell and Birchmore in which Farwell direct Birchmore to destroy evidence regarding the beginning of their relationship. This would be evidence that Farwell's effort to coerce and drive Birchmore to engage in sexual intercourse when she was 15 years old. Farwell, wish we had just done it for real the first time. I know you do, baby, sad face. It would have been perfect. Yes. Was it still perfect the first time? Of course it was, baby. Smiley face. I never thought you'd let me. I never thought you would. I wanted it so bad. So did I. I knew that day we made eye contact. Wasn't I wasn't sure you I wanted you to F me. Wanted. You should have told me. We could have effed so much sooner. Smiley face. Clear that out part out, baby. I did. Good girl. Conclusion. The information set forth above supports the government's motion to detain Matthew Farwell pending trial in this case. The end. In my Friday Night Live class, I earned an adult beverage today. Well, he has the benefit of the doubt, but I'll never. Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be the best place for him. Boston River or whatever they have near that. That's a big. You know, he treated his wife the same way. These are fetishes, not one offs. I would actually believe they should instead go around looking for more victims. He probably treated his wife different, and then he had a stable of younger women, maybe ladies of the night, that he treated that way to get it out of his system. But no, he has he liked them young. So I would be surprised if he didn't have more victims out there. Most likely someone he paid for. D. Flanny became a member. Thank you so much, D. Flanny. D. Flannery, not D. Flanny. That sounds Irish. That deserve a double. I think it was a double. I might have one when I'm off screen as well. We got through it. It was hard. Yes. I think I deserve to say the YouTube things that you shouldn't say. Please touch the button. I'm so close to 12,000 subs. It could be cool to get 12,000 before my 2-year streaming birthday, which will be September 7th, where we will forget all of this and I will be giving away a lot of giveaways, a lot of candy. Really wish I wasn't working today so I could drink. This just makes me want to rage. Yeah, this. They know of more victims. Well, if more charges come in, we will cover that as well. Because I don't know if fetishist is exactly the right word. No, it's crammy. It's a person who should meet Mr. Chippy and Sergeant Catapult and end up in the sun, where he should be alive the entire time while burning to eternity. Whitey Bulger's dumping grounds are empty. They could use one of those. Every good man that knows about this needs a drink after. I'm a father of 2 girls. Well, they're women now. My biggest fear, because we got divorced really early, my biggest fear was always anything like this, because I know where I would be spending the next 12 years if anything like this had ever happened to my daughter. I bet you Sandra Birchmore, sorry, father is sitting at home right now, probably like I have been doing a lot, either holding on to the table, that's why it's been shaking a bit, or having something to constantly have my hands occupied, because I really, really want to spend 5 minutes with this guy in a small room with a hammer, a gallon of gas, and when I go out there, I would light up a mental and throw the match into the room. And I bet you her dad has exactly the same feeling, just 10,000 times worse. Yes, I bet you everything he did with her had nothing to do. None of that would. It's kind of like um, it's kind of like those businessmen who work in the big city and then go home on the weekend that just stop by the the bonus section of the ladies of the night on Thursdays. They don't like guys with girls with, but they still just get a craving for it before they go home to their wife. You see that a lot. I'm curious how old his wife was when they met. Yeah, that could be interesting. I don't know anything. He's pun scum, and that's an insult to pun scum. Adelaide Lass, I agree. I'm glad she's finally getting justice. My friend Tony was unalive 17 years ago last week, and today would have been his 51st birthday. His unaliver is still walking free. Yeah, but imagine the state had to do it, or the feds had to do it because the state. I I don't know how the rules are. Who can go and search other than Levy, but can the governor go in and throw Morrissey and all the police chiefs out and start over? Can they demand that some investigation is done into their police departments? Where's the governor in all of this? She came out because of Proctor's bad wording about Karen Reed. How's she gonna respond to this one? I don't know anything about the wife. How many more till I hit 12K? I don't know. I'm not looking at my website right now. I have to open it up. Uh, I am 36 subscribers from 12,000. 36 subscribers. Predators usually don't harm family in the same way, but some might. For instance, look at JV Garci. Yes, but if they do it in the family, they normally keep it in the family, and then if they on the outside, they will seem like the best family person ever, and they will punch the wife and grape the kids, but out in the open, they will be the best family person in the world. So yeah, many wives with men like this claim the same treatment too. So I'm not convinced he was kind and gentle with his wife. Nothing has come forward. All Baker is at 11,900 subs. Can we sub and share to get him over 12? Yeah, just 36 people. 36 people just have to tickle the sub button. Well, a few more because YouTube gives and takes a few. But imagine hitting 12,000. That would be amazing. Not that it means anything other than I've been on the precipice of 12,000 for a month now. It could be cool to hit 12,000. Have an Irish coffee. Yeah, it's just after 5 here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to McDonald's and buy me something very unhealthy. Dimfana is the full name, so very Irish, 100% by a few DNA results, and mommy said so. I waited to hit the join button till the exact moment you took your shot. Slante. Reading this was horrible. I agree. The attorney general could, but he's as crooked as the rest. Yeah, and that's someone is always bigger than the big guy, and someone should do something. What's wrong with those 36 non-subscribers? I don't know. They are coy. They are holding out. I didn't go into enough graphic details today to earn their vote. I don't know how true it is, but I heard his wife told him take care of the problem. Think Turtle Boy wrote about it. I think I've read that at Turtle Boys too, but again, until I see filings on stuff, I don't normally uh, produce it as true or whatever you can say. I'll go to my gaming channel and sub to. Thank you so much, Blackbird Squeaks. Tellis was an a-hole, but he had a break and took out German and is paying for it. This SOB showed a repeating form of behavior. That's why I'm saying go trolling, go back, look who sat next to Sandra in the police cadet class, or who else of those young girls have been around him. Do they? They are everywhere because people do drugs. Do they have ladies of the night who's underaged or who look really young? I'll bet you he if he had anything to do with like a vice squad, he would take out payment not to put them in jail. People like this don't. A zebra doesn't change its colors. It's you can't. This is something deeply wrong in your brain. You can't change that. You just don't look. We've all seen the pictures from when she was starting at the police academy. She looked 10. Yeah, go play some video games. Go hug your kids. Go. I can't recommend adult beverages. I wore my Memphis shirt so you could think about Tennessee. Try to get through the day. Well, I have my Friday Night Live glass, so I am thinking about Tennessee right now because I got that in Tennessee. One is an accident, two is indicative of behavior. I would say one is an accident if she's a grown up. It's never an accident when it's someone that young, especially with what he was wanting to do to her. That constant, I want to do all of this stuff. Say no to me. Say no to me. That's 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 more than an accident, even from the first one. The Explorer Kit programs for kids from 6th grade to the age 20 who are interested in law enforcement. Many do end up becoming officers. Yeah, and it's a wonderful place for people like this creep who like him young. Farwell and his brother groomed by Divine, all involved in the program. Kevin Albert was also involved, likely Fanning tied to, and Guarino was just a who hit it on all of the others. There's a lot of things coming out of this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. In fact, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey was Massachusetts Attorney General at the time of these cover-ups by D.A. Morrissey and crew. Maura Healey did zero to stop it. Her successor, Andrea Campbell, is as wordless and lost. Yeah. And if I know anything about politics, Massachusetts will also be run by her the next time, because no matter who, isn't that what you're saying? Hey, Ramaran plays Blackbird. The governor is hiding. She reeks. Yes, she came out when it was opportune, because she could hit the he said nasty words about a lady in the Karen Reed case. That's the only thing she said about the Karen Reed case. That's is that really all you could do just because he used some choice words about her and you have nothing? Hopefully she'll come out today, her office, because we know Morrissey's office said, yeah, we can't talk about it because it's an ongoing case. Well, you should talk about how you didn't find any of this evidence. It's not like it was very well hidden. Nope, I'm not going to get angry. But thank you all so much for watching. It was horrible, but it was nice to be with you going through all of the horrible stuff. And thank you to the 6 subscribers who signed up after I begged for more subscribers. I don't normally beg. I don't grift that much, but if you are, please, I would love to get the last 28 subscribers before September 7th, so I can celebrate my giveaway stream with 12K, because then I would have grown, I think, 10,500 subscribers this year. It's horrible. Hug your kids, enjoy life, and go out there, spread some love today. Smile at a bird. Let someone in front of you at Costco say, you look lovely today, to your significant other. And when they ask, why are you weird? Just say, because I love you. Because then they will have a great day and you will feel a little less crappy after spending 2 hours watching this with me. Love y'all. See y'all.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100.
100.
Because it is 100%.
100%.
correct.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No,
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
no,
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
probably did. Everybody has.
So there-
Everybody has.